Oh yeah, we would drive to set together. We were so excited to do this because, we haven't had the opportunity to play a couple ever.
This story has really stayed with me for so long. The fact that you recreated the finest hour. Is it fine? Yes, finest hour at your sister's wedding. I mean, what was the production of that? Like, can you say like what point in the reception you came out? Was there crying? Was she just like laughing hysterically the whole time?
Oh, it was like the highlight of the entire wedding. At least I think so anyway. I was so excited to do it. My heart was actually pounding. I had planned this with my brother Eric, and he was playing the role of Brad. And I recreated, I put on this like blue tube dress with a tutu. I had the amulet. I threw it across the floor. It was just like, it was amazing. We had like, people at the reception, like, we're like, okay, when we start dancing, you guys are gonna get up and just mimic what we're doing. Just start dancing with us. It was really pretty amazing. Another great story though is Dan, for my brother's 30th birthday. I called him up and I was like, Dan, I'm so sorry. I haven't seen you in a million years. Is there any way you could come over and let's recreate that scene at my house, the scene where he comes over and,
oh my God.
And I put red stuff over the lamps and I dressed my brother. He had no idea what he was walking into. So I had Dan at my house. He's sitting on the bed. I've got books and all that. And we dress my brother up like he's the father with a tray of food, and he walks into the scene and we have cue cards for him. So he's like literally walking into a remake of that scene with me. And I'm dressed like it was amazing. It was for me, like, I loved it. Even I loved it. I was like, this is so great.
I would love to ask some Teen Witch questions. It is truly mine and I have two older sisters, our favorite childhood film ever.
I love it.
That I'm talking to you right now.
You're so sweet. You know what I'm going to do because you're saying that? I'm going to Argentum Popularum Sensarum you. I'm making you my most popular girl. It's official.
Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. I mean, you've probably been asked this so many times through the years, but with revivals, being so big, has there ever been talk? Would you ever reprise the character in any way?
Oh, 100% I would. And yes, there was something that was in development and it fell through and it was heartbreaking, but it's not dead. It's not a dead issue. I would love to somehow, but it has to be. The problem is it has to be done right, and the versions that were being presented were just not. It wasn't it. So I'm like, I just can't. It has to be right.
Do you have a storyline that you're kind of thinking maybe where she is today?
Working on it, thinking about it. Yeah,
okay.
I really do hope that I can get something to materialize because I think it would be so special.
And filming it at such a young age, I mean, was there kind of like the cringiest moment? Like, what was it like I loved the package of the most popular girl, like that whole sequence, but was there something that was kind of cringy at that point, having to film?
You know what? Like we were all so young, but we had no idea, first of all, what we were making. We had no idea that it would resonate for like generations and that it would be so special to people. I had no idea, but the cringy thing, the only thing that I remember being cringy was not even my scene. It was with Mandy and Polly. With Polly and Rhett, and it was the top fat rap. They were mortified. They didn't like it. They couldn't stand it. And look, it's ended up being like the quintessential scene in Teen Witch. It's like, it's the most beloved scene of all. And that rap is just like, it's classic. But it's funny that going into that, they were just, could not. They just did not want to do it.
Has she embraced it since, or is this still?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. How can you not? How can you not? It's so good.
Is it true that it was filmed during reshoots? Like it wasn't even part
Yes.
of okay. So they just threw it. What was like the take behind that? Did they just throw it in? They felt like they were missing something?
Yeah, they added a couple of things. Even the sunflower scene in the abandoned house. That was
thrown in there?
Mortified, by the way, to this day. I'm like, yeah, that was added. So I mean, I wasn't complaining at the time, but like now looking back, I'm like, oh my gosh, that is so embarrassing.
Do you still keep in touch with the real life couple, Dan and Lisa?
Occasionally, we do. Yeah, we're still very friendly with each other. We don't get together. They live far. I think they have an acting studio together. If I'm not mistaken, I feel like it's in Palm Springs. I don't know, but I adore them. They're so great. I love that they're a couple still. I think that's just the greatest thing ever.
I love the idea that you star in this with your husband.
Yes.
What was it like working as husband and wife on screen? You know, did you drive over to the set together every day?
Oh yeah, we would drive to set together. We were so excited to do this because, you know, we haven't had the opportunity to play a couple ever. We've done projects together, but we'd have like a line or two here and there. But to be able to do this and play a couple and bring our own like real life experiences to the screen and our own chemistry and our own history, it was really special.
How could you relate as parents with the storyline of, you know, the daughter doesn't really want to follow in the father's footsteps? Were you both able to relate to that with your own kids?
Oh my gosh, 100%. Like our 19-year-old, we had his life mapped out for him. Yeah, we knew what he was going to do. We had the plans. We know. And then it was like, oh, wait a minute. No, he's got his own ideas. So we've definitely had similar experiences with our own kids, and what a learning experience it is. And to, you know, like the metaphor in the beginning of the film with the yellow balloon, and then he releases it. It's like, oh gosh, the idea of letting your children go, you never really do. Mm-hmm. But you know, having that confidence that, you know, our kids, like at that point, you're done. Your job is done. Like they are who they are. And yeah, so it's scary for sure.
You've been married over 20 years. What is kind of the key to a happy marriage for you? Like, how did you know Bart was the one?
Oh, wow. I dated some real toads before I met him. I mean, some were great, but you know, the great part about dating was like it showed me more and more what I really did want and what I didn't want in someone, in a partner, in a life partner. And he checked all the boxes. You know, his family was amazing. He was great personality, great values, great. The way he interacted with my family and his siblings and all of that, it was just like, oh, because I always, when I was dating, I was like, what kind of a father is he going to be? What kind of a father, you know, will he be to my children? And he was it.
I know I've read before that you said that your kids don't want anything to do with acting, but when you started having kids, was that kind of a discussion between you two? Like, okay, are we going to wait until 18 if they want to start acting? Are we going to embrace this?
Yeah, you know, honestly, like, I don't know what the future holds for my kids. They may end up acting. I have a feeling they'll end up in the entertainment industry in one capacity or another, if it's not directing, producing, acting. I don't really know, but my kids, this is kind of all they know. It's second nature for them. You know, like they've grown up on sets. They've done off-camera lines for us. They've held the boom. They've just, you know, they've done all sorts of things. So I have a feeling it's in their blood. You know, my two boys have actually done did a film with my husband. Little Women. They were both in Little Women with my husband. And my older son has done a couple of projects with my husband as well. So it's really good. They're good.